everyone! Today we're going to be painting a super easy painting of these flower pots with different kinds of flowers in them and some like ivy hanging over. So it should be really super easy, like for kids, and I'll show you step by step how I do it. So this is kind of, I did this just to make sure that I liked it and put out the colors that I think I'm going to use. So the colors and the size board I'm using, size brushes, all that's going to be in the description so that you can see what I'm using. And you can just use the colors you have if you don't have the exact same ones. So first of all, I'm going to get, this is like a maybe 3/8 inch bright, I think, so you can kind of see the size it is compared to my hand. So I'm just going to go ahead and get some of this white, maybe some of the, this is Unbleached Titanium, but it's just like an off-white, so you can mix it with something similar with yellow ochre and this burnt umber, but a lot of people may not have the exact colors and the color names and everything, especially if you're using like craft paint. They're not going to have all these special names and stuff, so just find a color that looks similar and should be good. So I'm going to use like a kind of a greenish. The color I used in my other photo, actually, it was a color that I kind of, when I was finished painting one time, I took all the colors that I had and just mixed them all together, and I came up with that color, and then I added a little bit of blue to it to make the color that was in that picture. So I really don't know exactly how I made it, but I'm just going to kind of make a different color. And you can make the background whatever color you want, put whatever color flowers you want, doesn't matter. But I'm just kind of getting this off-white, blue, and burnt umber, the brown. And kind of, you don't have to go all the way, because down this bottom point we're going to put like the floor that it's sitting on. So while I'm doing this, I'll say hi to everybody that decided to watch this, and hopefully you'll get to paint it and have fun doing this. And if you do like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I put a new video out every Friday, and this is kind of like a bonus extra video that I'm doing, like for kids and beginners, because we do some more complicated ones too. So this is a little bit easier. And it's kind of drying on me, so I gotta go faster. And it's turning kind of greenish because that off-white, this Unbleached Titanium, has got a little bit of the yellow, some yellowish color in it, so it's turning, mixing with that blue and turning it green. Okay. So if I'm going too fast, or if you finish before me, you can, you know, fast forward or go backward, whatever, depending on how far along you are. I'm adding water, so to the, kind of like dipping my brush in the water so that it will flow, paint will flow off my brush better. It sometimes will get to the point where it's like not wanting to really move around. So you can just do that. All right, and now for the ground part, it's kind of like, I made it kind of like wood, but you could do whatever you wanted to. So I taken the brown and that off-white, which I need more of. And I'll go about to here, so it's kind of half and half. It's almost to the fourth, not quite. And if you don't mix it all the way, you can get some like interesting kind of things happening that makes it look like wood. So you can get it not totally mixed. It's kind of mixing because I'm having to go back and forth so many times to get this down, but all right. And in this area, I'm going to add a little bit more of the brown because that's kind of where the pots are sitting, and I want it to have kind of like a shadow. So I'm going to kind of, while it's wet, put in dark in that. And then I can kind of take that light color and kind of put some in this part that's lighter. Alright, so I'm going to use my hair dryer to blow dry this, and then we can go on to the next part. Actually, it's kind of, looks like it's a little bit overdrawed right there. Alright, that's better. So I'll pause and blow dry. Alright, so now I'll let it dry, and I'm just going to take some school chalk, and this can help when you don't, so that you don't have to do it freehand. You can kind of draw it in first. So I'm going to do the first pot right here, and the sides are going to go out slightly. And then there's going to be a cross here, and then another area right here. And you want this bottom to be slightly curved so that the pot looks curved. Okay, and then this one, it's kind of overlapping It's smaller. And curve the bottom. All right, and then we're just gonna have the plants in there. All right, so I'm gonna use the same brush, but before I do that part, I'm just gonna take this that's left and put some of that in here because it looks like it didn't cover very well. So I want that to make sure that's covered good. All right, so what I'm going to do is take this burnt sienna, or this reddish brown, and that's going to be like the base color we're going to have the most of. I'm going to take a little bit of that brown, the other burnt umber brown, and put it along that edge. And you could put the first pot in and then go back and do the second one, or do it however you want to do it. That's actually how I did my first one. When I did the example one, that practice that I did this whole pot first and then went back, but you can do it either way. It's probably easier. Okay, and then I'll get some of that off-white. It's kind of like reddish pots. Red clay. And then I'll get even more on the very edge. More of that off-white. And I'm going to take a little bit of this darker. And flick some dark up in here. And to make sure I put like a area here where it's darker. Alright, and then back to the darker color. So you can use that edge since it's square to get that edge. Pretty easy to do this little strip. You can just make that brush do it. Okay, so there's that first pot. And I need to put A little bit more of this. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to the smaller one. So, there. Okay, and then get some of that lighter. Get those darker colors. Put some of that kind of near the bottom. Alright, and then the dark for the edges. That line there. Alright, now we need to work on the greenery. So, I rinse that brush out. Then you're going to use the same brush, and I'm going to get some yellow and some of this blue. Phthalo Blue is the name. Make this green, and then I'm going to get some of this brown with it. It's going to dull it and make it more neutral. So you can kind of use your brush to make some like leaf shapes on the edges. But in this middle part, you can kind of slap it on. Okay, and then we put some in this other pot, and this time I'm gonna add a little bit more blue so we can kind of change the color of the green. So see, this green is a different color, more of like a blue color, and you don't have to do that, but you just kind of, it just shows you can play around with the color. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit more yellow, change it back to that original color, and I'm going to kind of dab some like vines, like ivy down there. Okay, and I'll get a little bit more yellow, some of my white. So now it's a little brighter. And kind of flick it back and forth, make some leaf shapes. Kind of, you can put some of this in the ivy too. And then if we added more like a blue, we can make a light color for this one. Okay, and then just a little lighter, make the lightest color now. So not as much of this, but a little bit. Now adding white to this yellowy mixture. Alright, so now I'll have to dry that so we can add our flowers and take off our chalk. Alright, so now we can take the chalk off, and what I'm going to do is take my towel, paper towel, and dip it in the water a little bit. And now that this is dry, just take the chalk off with a damp towel or damp rag. So see, it was just that easy to take off the chalk. Just don't like scrub on it, because the paint will come off since it hasn't cured all the way. So now I'm going to take a round brush, so it's kind of like a medium size, and I'm going to do some like blue flowers. And I'm just going to do, they're going to have like 5 petals, but certain ones are going to have only 4 or 3 because they are on the side. So this one has 3, and I'm just adding white to it and using that to like highlight it. Now this one, okay. And I'll make this one only have 4 petals. This one only have 4. Like hiding. And alright, and then I'm going to take more white and add it to this for like the brightest highlight. And you can do whatever shape flowers you want, whatever like colors you want. So there we go. And now I'm going to make dark centers for these ones. So I'm going to get this brown and some of the blue to make it dark. So see, we got this really dark color, and I'm going to put that in the center of these. Certain ones are going to be like on the side and you're not really going to see it, at least not see it a whole lot. So there's those dark centers. My other one, the centers on those look a little different because I did them yellow and then changed my mind, so got a little bit of yellow in there. Alright, so now I'm going to take, this is like a kind of a stiffer bristle brush, so I'm going to take some yellow and a little bit of white and do these like ones that are kind of fuzzy. And there can be some bigger ones, some smaller ones. And kind of turn them around and so that they kind of have some different shapes. I'm going to take more of the yellow plain and just kind of darken some certain spots on these, so they got kind of more than just one color. Alright, so there's our flowers and flower pots. So it was pretty fast, it didn't take very long. So you can sign it with just like a thin brush and do like your initials or even your whole name, but for kids it would probably be easy to do the initials. I use a faber-castell Pitt artist pen and do my name in that. I like using these, so it's easier than a brush to me, but if that's all you have, then that's fine. Alright, so there we go. There's our flowers. So I'm hoping to do some more easy projects like this for kids, so that, because even some of the beginner ones that I have, it may be still a little bit hard for kids because it still may take like an hour or so. So having these shorter ones I think is really good for kids. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please like and subscribe. Check out some of my other videos. Maybe by now I might have several other ones out that are for kids. I know I have one more at the moment that's pretty easy. I'll pop that up here. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.